Welcome everybody to game number 2 in the IPL Summer Promotion Qualifier. Crs Academy versus One Trick Ponies, with Crs Academy on the right side taking up the purple team, while One Trick Ponies are on the left taking up the blue team. InnoX on Zed, ScubaChris on Nasus, nubbypoohbear on Twisted Fate, Flappy Bearfish up on Twitch, and one on Z on Janna. On the purple team, we have Crs Pobelt up on Gragas, MRN AtomicN on Sona, Crs Altec on Caitlyn. Up for Jarvan, we have Crs IWDominate, and Akali is GetRhuxD. Interesting team comps coming out here as we see a very powerful global ultimate on Twisted Fate. And since he's going to be up against Gragas, he's going to have a pretty easy time rotating around the map. Gragas not one of the more mobile champions in the game. He has a decent mobility skill, but he doesn't have a very good way of rotating around the map. He's not very quick, so Twisted Fate's going to have to use that to really snowball this mid-game. For the side of One Trick Ponies, if they can get a good snowball off with Twisted Fate, they'll have an easy time of taking this late game. They have the Twisted Fate ultimate to reveal Akali and prevent a heavy portion of her defenses. Twitch and Janna will have a very powerful lane, as they just synergize so well together. Giving Twitch that extra AD allows him to really harass down opponents. And Zed has the ability to just assassinate Caitlyn, the major source of sustained damage on the Crs Academy side. Crs Academy on their side have that big burst damage. They could easily throw a Gragas cask after lining everyone up with a Sona ultimate, and then catching them all back up into the Jarvan ultimate, though that is going to be a bit of a liability having both Gragas and Jarvan on the same team. But I think at this level it's not a major problem. It only happens every now and then. But if they can get that big burst damage going with a crit or two for Caitlyn, a set of Gragas Barrel and Sona ultimates, they could really let Akali just snowball all over the place and make it a real painful time for One Trick Ponies. So Crs has a good opportunity here to really make something happen, and they really need to extend this series and have a chance to actually enter the LCS as one of those grand teams that gets the ability to play League of Legends for real good money. And it looks like we are going to have not going to actually see the loading screen, so we'll be in game in just one moment. Just a reminder, this is One Trick Ponies versus Crs Academy as part of the IPL Summer Promotion Qualifier. For summoner spells, we do have Twitch and Caitlyn both rocking Cleanse. Not sure how useful Cleanse is going to be on Twitch, as Crescendo is the only thing that really needs to be cleansed. Occasionally the traps from Caitlyn will be cleansed, but other than that, not as much. Wither's the big thing that Twitch wants to cleanse. Or no, Wither would actually be on Caitlyn. Excuse me. That's what Caitlyn wants to cleanse. I was thinking something else, but yeah, that's why you take Cleanse. That Wither is going to be real nasty. Twitch isn't going to need it as much. He has Crescendo to cleanse, and that's about it. He'll get the slow from Gragas. He'll have to cleanse, as that's fairly powerful. And that's about it for cleansable spells. The Caitlyn traps he might have to cleanse, but no big deal. As we are going to see both teams starting off fairly defensively, spread out all over the map. Neither team in a position, but it looks like we are going to have Twitch down bottom. Spot out Akali, spot out the lane swap right away. Question is, will One Trick Ponies actually respawn and do anything about this, or are they just going to accept the fact that they're going to lane swap and Crs Academy is going to pile on some serious damage to that top tower and make Zed's life a living hell, to put it nicely, as Caitlyn Sona just harasses so incredibly well. Zed's one advantages, he is an energy user, and does have the ability to last hit with a distance with her shurikens. And it's just a good way to last hit when you're pressured this much. Akali will have a decent time as well. She's also energy based. She has a ranged attack. Sort of. But they're both going to be in good shape last hitting. The only problem is Twitch and Janna do a whole lot of damage. Same thing with Caitlyn and Sona. They both very powerful harassment champions. And with Nasus in the jungle, he should be able to rotate around and at least alleviate some of this pressure that's going to come onto this top lane. Assuming they care or don't want to just go down bottom and counter push themselves. Virtually identical items up on both teams, with both mid laners taking that crystalline flask and some potions. The mid lane is very well warded, with wards on both sides for both teams. There's no one that's going to be coming anywhere near. Sona does actually come forward trying to at least harass the blue buff, but she's a little late, as she just didn't get there in time. And Nasus got it without any real threats. And it looks like we're going to see these top laners be absolutely destroyed. As Zed's picked up 2 CS, Akali at 0, and it's not looking like it's getting any better for them, as these top laners just do way too much damage. In the mid lane, Twisted Fate getting the better of Gragas just a little bit, as Akali gets absolutely murdered down bottom. Twisted Fate's going to have a bit of a better time against Gragas until he picks up a few levels, just due to the fact Twisted Fate's ranged and has a bit more damage, along with a basically spammable stun, as he can gold card whenever he so chooses, and just make Gragas have to kind of sit there and take a few auto attacks, burn out those potions, and really hurt him. Jarvan does come up top, but there is Nasus. Nasus gets a nice wither off, and we're not going to see any further aggression, as Jarvan's going to be forced back. Janna does get another knock up on Akali. Akali's sitting at 2 CS here, and it's not getting significantly better. Janna does throw out a bit of harassment every chance she gets, and just kind of backs up. Akali has had this opportunity to catch up, as Zed has been pushed fairly heavily away. And this bottom tower getting very low, and it should go down probably next minion wave. Akali having to do a lot, but Twitch does so much damage once she gets that Janna shield. He gets a ridiculous amount of extra AD. On top of that, it stacks with his poisons, his expunge, and everything else. That little bit of extra attack damage is really important for this early game, and it'll allow him to get some really massive ultimates off later. Looks like Jarvan has decided to rotate down bottom, but here's Nasus as well, and it is jumping onto Akali. Akali gets knocked up by the tornado. There is a pink ward being placed, and there's the ignite. That Akali's going to go down for first blood. Janna picks it up. Excellent decision there. Twitch very low. This tower at near 0 health. Looks like Twisted Fate's in the area as well. Throws out a set of wild cards, but just a little off the mark. Looks like our directed camera decided to flip around. But this bottom tower is going to be dead. Zed's going to be able to hold this top tower for at least another wave or two. And Jarvan might be forfeiting his life down bottom. And Twisted Fate does land the gold card, and he gets taken out. Twisted Fate with the wild cards to finish him off. Greedy move there by Jarvan to actually stay there and try to defend the tower, but a big advantage taken here by one-trick Ponies, who really need to win this game. And this is looking a lot like the first game, where one team kind of snowballed into a sizable lead. The big difference is Twisted Fate's down a fair bit in terms of CS. Twitch is down a fair bit as well, as Caitlyn and Sona just continue to apply massive pressure to this top lane. And with both towers down, the lead has shrunk just a little bit, and it is not getting any smaller, but it's going to stay about the same as Twitch and Janna rotate up top. Kind of surprised they're doing that and not just taking all this farm down bottom. But Twitch is not actually bought yet. He's decided to go back, didn't pick up a Doran's Blade, not showing his hand, which is an interesting decision, but I kind of like it from him. They don't know if he's going to go for that early Bloodthirster or waited out for that Infinity Edge. I suspect Infinity Edge, just because his team has a fair amount of damage, but really needs that oomph and killing power that the Infinity Edge brings. Twisted Fate almost level 6, so we should see some roaming at any point now, going for that early twin spirits or shadows. and that'll allow him to roam around, get that extra slow so he can catch up without having to burn flash, because basically every time he uses his destiny, he'll teleport behind the AD carry, the AD carry will run, lay a trap right on him, and then just kind of jump away, but the Twin Shadows will allow him to recover and get the slow off so he can run up there and actually get the gold card without significant loss. Caitlyn's still dominating Twitch in terms of CS, and Zed not getting a whole lot, though he is keeping up with the junglers just fine. Akali at about the same, even though Akali's had to branch off just a little bit, picking up that early cloth arm, which will likely turn into a Zhonya's eventually, but no time soon, as we're likely to see a Gunblade come out on her, as that's just such a powerful item on Akali, giving her that slow and a massive amount of damage. Akali's going to be up top in decent shape, as we see a bottom lane pushed here by CRS Academy. And with his tower down, they should take the lead, or at least keep it about even. With this tower going down, Twitch and Janna are going to do a lot of damage up top, as there's a big minion wave stacked. And Janna's going to be able to clear this minion wave very quickly. Twitch getting a hit off there onto Akali, and Akali's going to be forced back, as Janna does flash forward with the ignite yet again. And Akali's sitting near 0 health, and she does actually go down. Kind of surprised she went down there, but that Twitch poison finished her off on the last tick. CRS Academy has basically tied up the game, though it'll continue to be tied, as they're going to trade Dragon for a tower up top. Twitch getting a lot of farm and catching back up to Caitlyn. Gragas still dominating Twisted Fate, but overall the gold passive from Twisted Fate is making a pretty big difference, and that's basically the lead at this point, as it's about 200 to 300 gold, and there's about 300 to 400 separating the teams. So Twisted Fate's actually rotating up top, and they're going to go for another tower. Gragas is going to come in from the side, but I don't think he really wants to engage in here. Twisted Fate does pop Destiny. He is going to teleport right back to the mid lane, and Gragas is going to rotate back and follow him there. Interesting use of Destiny, but it works, as it allows him to apply a bit more pressure to that top lane and come back. I don't think he's going to have a good gank opportunity anytime soon, with the exception of bottom lane. But with just Zed in the bottom lane, it's going to be very hard to get a gank off when Caitlyn and Sona are there. Will Twisted Fate get the gold card off? No, he does not. And Gragas is able to escape, get the barrel out, and finish off all those minions. Twisted Fate with another gold card, but still using it on minions at the moment, as he's just not able to get in range of Gragas. He's been close several times, but just not fast enough to actually get it to land. One Trick Ponies have decided to create a very strong push through the mid lane. And with 4 of their members here, and a good bit of time before anyone actually arrives, they're going to do some good damage, unless Gragas does that, just that. Throws his barrel, disperses them, buys them a creep wave to go do whatever they choose. And Twisted Fate's going to continue to push the mid while Twitch rotates top and just continues to take that big minion stack. Nasus is in the area, as blue buff is still a long ways out. Kind of surprised he's watching it, unless he just wanted that ward. And Twitch is getting really big at this point. It looks like he is going for an Infinity Edge. Same thing with Caitlyn. I like the decisions. They need the extra damage on both sides to really strike that finishing blow. Though I do believe the One Trick Pony side has a bit more burst. They're about even on damage. It's really close, and I'm not sure who's going to actually pull out on these fights. It's really going to come down to which AD carry can sit in the back and auto attack, as both teams have some fairly powerful diving tools with Zed's ultimate, as we do have a push here in the mid lane. Twisted Fate's going to stop it, though. Nice ultimate there, as we do see a crescendo over. Twisted Fate flashing away, but Jarvan does fall to the tower. Nasus is very low and will actually pick up the kill on Gragas. Akali does come in here for a bit of cleanup, but there's Zed getting some cleanup on Akali, and she had no hope there, as Destiny did reveal her so Zed could get that extra auto attack in and make sure she died. 6-1 is the score, and towers are 2-2 in favor of One Trick Ponies, and it looks like they are going to group up for a little push in the mid lane, but Caitlyn and Sona responded just in time. Gragas has picked up a needlessly large rod in addition to Doran's blades. Jarvan picking up that Madrid's Razor in addition to going for that Lock of the Iron Solari. Akali has gone for the early components of Azanias in addition to those Sorcerer's Shoes, not opting for the early Gunblade. Kind of surprised in that. But the Seeker's Arm Guard will help her fairly well against Twitch and Zed, and a bit against Twisted Fate, as he does have a fair amount of physical damage. Caitlyn picking up the components of an Infinity Edge with the exception of the Crit Cloak and the BF Sword. Sona's picked up standard support items. Janna going for a bit more of an AP support style, as she's picked up the Kage instead of the Philosopher's Stone. Twitch with the components of the Infinity Edge, as we do have Twisted Fate. Still not completing that Twin Shadows, but getting very close. Nasus going for an early Aegis of the Legion, as Zed's picked up the Brutalizer and a Duran's Blade, and looking to fight at this point, as he does have that Red Elixir. It looks like he might try and jump in on Caitlyn down bottom. Looks like we are not going to see that fight, as Caitlyn just kind of jumps away, takes a lot of damage, and Zed ultimate does pop, and Caitlyn is actually going to go down, taking a lot of damage from Zed. And with that, that means we can start a push in the mid lane, if we so choose, by the one-trick pony side. So the Fate's going to be able to pick his blue buff up, and then they're going to be able to siege fairly well. But it looks like they instead aren't going to go for the objectives, which is something we've seen out of Crs Academy really prioritize, is take every single objective they can, and make sure that the enemy team doesn't have any left for themselves. Everyone here sitting at blue, just to make sure Gragas gets it. And I don't think we're going to have any real contention for it, as there is just not enough there by one-trick ponies. Crs did an excellent job of securing that blue buff for Gragas. Gragas is going to get here on Zed. Zed does take a nice barrel to the back, and Akali should be able to finish him off here, as he does go down. Just a little too aggressive, and they are going to get a good trade for it, as that mid tower is still at very high health, because Twitch was off pushing the top tower. Twitch and Caitlyn, along with Gragas, are all hovering around the top CS in the game, sitting at about 120. While Twisted Fate is right behind him. Akali is down significantly to Zed, down 25-ish minions. And we're going to have a big push here by Crs Academy. Mid tower getting fairly low, but they're taking a little too much poke to stay here and continue to fight. And Twitch is going to split push top. Interesting decision to let your AD carry split push, especially as Dragon has respawned. It is being pinged out, so we know it's there. Looks like we are having Akali in a bit of trouble. Twisted Fate jumps up top, lands the gold card, and that is a dead Akali. And we're going to continue to push, trading Dragon for a tower and a kill. Pretty much even. Problem is that kill went on Twisted Fate, and Twisted Fate's getting pretty big, as he has 3 of his team's kills. And they're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure to this inhibitor turret, as no one's back yet. Jarvan just starting to go back, and while the rest of the team tries to run up and catch them. It looks like Gragas is going to be the first up there, but Twitch, with his stealth ability, does actually get hit. But he's invisible. He will be spotted in just a moment. Sona does have her crescendo, so she's in a bit of trouble, but here comes Zed, and is able to finish him off. Cleanse just in time to actually get Sona kill, and that's a nice bait there by one-trick ponies, showing they're a little more than one trick and have a few of them up their sleeve. Twitch has finished off his Infinity Edge, as we do see this mid tower taking a fall. Jarvan does pop his own ultimate, but there is not enough follow-up damage. Nasus was able to just pop his own ultimate, survive with a little help from Janna. Zed got some good damage across, but there just wasn't any follow-up from either team. Looks like Akali is going for the Gunblade next, just picking up that Hextech Revolver. Zed can have that Bloodthirster finished at any point. Nasus about to finish off her Runic Bulwark. Twitch has finished off his Zeal, going for a Phantom Dancer, most likely next. Lock of the Iron Solari up onto Jarvan, as we do see the Twin Shadows finally completed by Twisted Fate. And it looks like Crs Academy is going to go for a push in the mid lane. But it's stopped right away by Nasus. Twisted Fate with a Destiny, and Gragas is in a lot of trouble, and he's going to go down. Nothing can save him here, but Twitch picks up the kill for his first of the game. Twitch doing an excellent job of using his stealth at the right moment to get up there and get those extra auto attacks onto Gragas, slowing him down just enough for Twisted Fate to get in there and finish him off. As it looks like we are going to have one-trick ponies rotating around to this bottom turret. No one's there. There's a sizable minion wave pushing, and with all 5 of them down there and Gragas dead, there's no defending it from the side of Crs Academy. Like it will be another turret, 5-2 as the turret score goes. 5,000 gold lead for one-trick ponies, as they have just secured more objectives and have taken significantly more kills. CS is about even across the board, with Twisted Fate heavily down to Gragas and Akali heavily down to Zed, while the AD carries are sitting at about even. Same thing with supports and junglers. Looks like Crs Academy really wants to group up and make their team fight work. But so far they've just been kind of picked off one by one, especially Akali, who's really hasn't been able to make any plays this game. She hasn't had the opportunity. It seems like every time she wants to go in for a fight, someone magically pops up behind her target and gets the assist and a kill on her. Twitch with red buff is going to be an absolute beast. And it's going to be almost impossible to get to him on that back line at the moment. With the Janna ultimate and just the wither from Nasus, it's going to be almost impossible to kill this Twitch. And any real upcoming team fights, as Jarvan doesn't have the damage to do so, and Akali's doesn't have the damage to do so, unless they get a good Gragas ultimate. As Gragas has gone for death cap first, and is looking to just apply some big damage in these fights. Pink ward placed in the middle lane as Nasus is in a little trouble, but he will run away in time, though it is countered. Just wanting to make sure that Twisted Fate is spotted wherever he goes. But it's going to be hard at this point. Twisted Fate is able to roam around the map, do basically whatever he wants at this point. He's had an excellent early game, and despite being down in CS, he's more than made up for it by saving Twitch's rear a few times with his ultimate, and just finding those pickoffs which are critical to his team's success. Both teams have picked up the blue buff, and we're entering a bit of a stalemate as Zed does try to steal, and he will actually take it from Gragas. Thought Gragas would actually have enough to finish it off, but he just kind of ran out of mana at the last second, not able to get his ultimate off or want to waste it for the blue buff. But with that, Zed has it, and that's real problems, as that means more Zed ultimates and more massive death, as that's really the name of Zed's game, is to use his ultimate whenever possible. It's one of those abilities that you really just want to use on cooldown. Even if it doesn't get a kill, you're virtually sending someone back to base, unless it's their tank, and the only real tanky person on the side of Crs Academy is that Jarvan, who has just a Lockyer on Solari and the Ninja Tabi for tank items. Akali's getting better, is better at tanking, as she's picked up Seeker's Arm Guard and the Giant's Belt. But still no big item on her, so that she's not a big threat at the moment. She has decent damage, but not the level of damage you really want on Akali. Looks like Twisted Fate pops his ultimate, and we're not going to have an engagement for just a few moments. It's more to just try and catch someone out, but all 5 members of Crs Academy were grouped up fairly close. But they do take a good bit of harassment from the wild cards and the shadows of Zed. With that, it looks like Dragon is going to respawn fairly shortly, and Crs Academy is going to bait it out as Jarvan is withered. Will Twisted Fate catch up? No, he will not. At least not in time to actually get some damage on him. Dragon has just now respawned, and we're going to see a push in the mid lane by one-trick ponies, which will allow them to get a good advantage on Dragon. No wards in the Dragon area, as it does throw down a shadow and does a significant amount of damage before the fight begins. Jarvan isn't going to be able to jump in there. There's no saving him once he gets in this fight, as he's already at about half health, and Dragon's taken out without a fight. Looks like we are going to have Nasus running in there as he gets a wither on Caitlyn. He's taken fairly low. He does pop his own ultimate, and he is going to be the first casualty of war, as Akali does pick it up. Janna saving Twitch, and Twitch will be able to pick up a kill on the support. Twisted Fate does not have his ultimate, but he flashes for the cards, and he will actually pick up Jarvan from a distance. Caitlyn in a lot of trouble. She is going the wrong way, and will be taken out here thanks to Twisted Fate and Janna. Excellent exchange there by One Trick Ponies, and they're going to be able to make a big push. Not sure what Caitlyn was thinking there going that direction. But with only Gragas up, his ultimate down, this is easily going to be an inhibitor turret at the very least. Possibly an inhibitor. But instead they're going to back out, play it safe, and take the red buff. It's the safe decision. Not sure it's the correct decision, but it is the safe decision. And with that, Twitch is in a really good spot. He's finished off his Phantom Dancer. He's going to pick up another big item. I expect that to be the last Whisper very soon. Zed has finished off his Bloodthirster, and Akali will try and catch him, but no such luck actually getting in there. Janna going for the ability power Janna, which we've seen several times at the LCS, which is just a great split pusher and defender. She's picked up the MRN AtomicN. Twisted Fate has opted for the Lich Bane in addition to the needlessly large rod. Nasus likely to be picking up the Lock of the Iron Solari. As we see, Hexshaker finished on Zed. Akali still finishing components, as she has components to Zonya's, likely a Rylai's, and a Gunblade. While Jarvan likely to be working himself into an Aegis and Runic Bulwark fairly soon. Gragas has picked up the Death Cap and an Amplifying Tome in addition to his Doran's Blade, or Doran's Rings. Caitlyn has picked up that Infinity Edge, working towards that Phantom Dancer, which she desperately needs at this point just to get that extra crit and attack speed, which will allow her to really finish off teams after the big burst comes out of the CRS Academy side of things. Looks like CRS Academy is playing very defensive and not wanting to leave their base at this point. They really playing it safe. They don't want to fall victim to Twisted Fate, as he's been roaming around the map very effectively and just finding those one or two people that are out in the open and punishing them for it. CRS Academy with a pretty good decision here to just kind of rotate into the mid lane. Not sure how much they're going to get off of it, as top lane's pushing fairly heavily against them and bottom lane's pushing in their favor. But both sides just continue to farm. Neither side really wanting to take an engagement at this point. 9,000 gold lead for the side of One Trick Ponies, as they really have a commanding lead, but they don't feel like they do. They don't feel that it's 9,000 gold. They feel like it's a lot less. Zed will take the blue buff, denying it from Gragas, which means not as many cacks being thrown. And that really hurts him, as he needs that mana to defend and make sure that this mid lane stays pushed back and not at the tower, where Twitch can get a few pot shots at the tower every time. All outer towers have been taken by One Trick Ponies, while CRS Academy has taken the top and bottom towers. We see a small push here by One Trick Ponies, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get anything off of it, as Gragas is going to be able to just kind of destroy the minion wave when they come in, along with the Peacemaker of Caitlyn. And it's going to be hard to push. Zed does get some good harassment off on Caitlyn. Caitlyn is not going to be in a position to fight if she takes any more hits. Twin Shadows pop by Twisted Fate. We see a big ultimate by Gragas, but no such luck of actually getting anyone. They all kind of fell into the wall, and nothing happened. Zed continuing to harass with his shadows. He's not going to have them up when he wants to use his ultimate, but I don't think he cares. He's just going to wait for someone to get low, then they're going to move in there and make the kill on the tower. They don't care about killing players. They just want the objectives at this point on One Trick Ponies. Nasus is going to walk in there and take a lot of damage from both the tower and the poke. But he should be okay, as he's one of the more durable champions in the game. And he will have his ultimate to heal him up, should he need it. But instead they're going to back up. Nasus was spotted out by a ward, and there's a big minion wave down bottom. Kind of surprised One Trick Ponies hasn't peeled off and either baited Baron or gone for it, as they have the damage to do so. Twitch is dealing ridiculous amounts of damage, as it looks like instead of going for a Last Whisper, he opted to go for the BF sword, likely into a Bloodthirster, so he can really pile on some damage. Gunblade almost completed by Akali, as Zed just waits to go back and pick up his next item, as I feel he's very close to something. He has the opportunity to pick up another big item. With that, he'll be able to just destroy Caitlyn. And Crs Academy won't have that finishing power they really need after their strong ultimates. Nasus has picked up an Oracle's Look, so we're going to have him rotate towards Baron. It's been a rather uneventful mid-game, but so far it's definitely favored one-trick ponies as they've extended their lead to 10,000 gold. No Warts and Dragon or anywhere close by Crs Academy, but I think Sona's ready to go place at least one or two, as Red Buff has respawned. Twist of Fate steals the big Wraith, and Nasus is going to actually go in. No, he's not. It looked like he wanted to, but you saw a few too many people there come up with that ward. Janna doing a good job of just harassing everyone down, as that MRN AtomicN is easily applied with her tornado, and it has enough damage that you don't want to get hit with it. Crs Academy looking to actually run in here and try and contest the Baron, but One Trick Ponies isn't going for it. They're going to be going for Dragon first, playing it very safe. Don't mind the decision to play safe at this point, even though I'd like to see them make a big play, especially if they can, even if they trade poorly but can able to take an inhibitor, they can get the pressure they need to really finish off Crs Academy. Even though Crs Academy is still not in a bad position, their only problem is Akali is very weak, and she's not going to be able to survive in these fights for very long, as she really just needs that Zhonya's Hourglass and additional ability power so that she can lifesteal a bit more in these fights. Both sides continuing to posture around the mid lane and Baron. So looks like Nasus will be able to take out this ward with Twitch right behind him. And with that, Crs Academy suspects they're starting, or at least getting ready to, and are going to go check on it. Twist of Fate is up top with Zed in the mid lane, so no Baron just yet as both teams create the dance around it. And it's going to be in One Trick Pony's favor, as they do have the Oracle's Elixir, which is going to be wearing off fairly soon. It's about halfway done, even though I fully suspect Janna will be able to pop hers right as soon as Nasus wears off. Ultimate is popped. Twist of Fate going in very deep, able to get a nice stun on Akali as he takes a lot of damage, but he does pop that Zhonya's Hourglass. A beautiful decision there, as you see Nasus getting very deep and able to really apply pressure to Akali and make sure Caitlyn can't do anything in these team fights. Big win here by One Trick Ponies, and they should be able to secure an inhibitor, possibly the game off this, as it's 30 seconds before anyone responds on the Crs Academy side of things. Interesting decision for Twist of Fate to go that deep, but it paid off. As he started the fight, he caught them a little confused, and Caitlyn is not going to go down. She was very close. Janna Tornado ignited her right near the fountain, and it looks like two inhibitors are going to fall for this exchange, and a 14,000 gold lead taken by One Trick Ponies. And they look to take this game with one more fight, likely around Baron or the top inhibitor, as those are the only two significant objectives left in the game. Zed will be able to continue to have that blue buff, which means he is going to be in great shape, able to just spam out those abilities, and he really needs it for his additional shadow, as it just comes off cooldown so much quicker, and he allows him to harass significantly more. Twist of Fate really using that Zhonya's Hourglass to great effect in the last fight. It looks like he's going for a Death Cap next. Twitch has finished off that Bloodthirster, which means he is dealing ridiculous damage to the fairly unarmored team of Crs Academy. The only armor they have is on Jarvan, and a little bit on Akali, but Akali not very much, and Jarvan really needs to finish off that Aegis so his entire team gets that extra layer of armor. Looks like we are going to have an engagement very soon, as One Trick Ponies are pinging for it. Twist of Fate's ultimate is up, and I think they are just waiting for either cleanse or a Baron engagement. As soon as they see someone bottom, they can easily rotate and finish off Baron. Janna does have that Oracle's Elixir popped, but she did step in a trap, or Nasus did, so they will be spotted out for just a few more moments. and his super minions stack up down bottom. Someone's going to have to go down there and take him out. And as soon as they do, that's the cue to go into Baron and go finish it off real quick. But instead, they're just going to go at it right now without seeing anyone at the bottom, and they will take it without a fight. Janna able to throw a tornado out. Twisted Fate with the ultimate is able to get onto Caitlyn, and Caitlyn's going to go down as Twitch gets a few auto attacks and the expunge. Akali trying to jump in there, but she gets gold carded right away. She does do some good damage to Twisted Fate, but no such luck. Zed pops his ultimate to kill off Sona, and Jarvan gets killed at the end. And this means good game in favor of One Trick Ponies, and we're going to go to a game number 3. The decider in this IPL Summer Promotional Qualifying Series to see who gets a chance at possibly joining the LCS as one of their sponsored teams. Excellent game here by One Trick Ponies, really using the Twisted Fate pick to start fights, to roam around the map and secure all those early and mid-game objectives, and really dominating the floor with an excellent game number 2.
Thank you for watching Games Cast by PanderNyrl. If you wish to see more, follow my YouTube and Twitch pages below.